First catch your lobster. Alternatively, you could buy one instead. A live lobster should be lively. It spreads its claws, arches its back, and flaps its tail noisily against the underside of its chest when you pick it up. To do so, you must grab it with your thumb and index finger at its shoulder, just behind the claw joints. You can keep live lobsters in the refrigerator at around 37 degrees Fahrenheit for a day or two in a heavy paper bag pierced with airtight, but you should cook them as soon as possible. When you are picking shop-bought boiled lobsters, look closely at their tails, which should curl up against the underside of their chests and spring back into place when straightened. A limp tail indicates that the lobster was moribund before cooking. Be sure also in buying boiled lobster that it smells absolutely sweet and fresh. Freshly boiled, cooled, and wrapped lobsters will keep for 2 to 3 days in the refrigerator at around 37 degrees Fahrenheit. You may even wrap airtight and freezer boiled lobster in its shell for several weeks. Furnish yourself with sharp-pointed lobster scissors or kitchen scissors, a large knife, a cutting board with groove to catch juices or a board set on a tray, a bowl to pour juices into, and another bowl for the lobster tomoli. You now want to split the lobster in two lengthwise as follows. Turn the lobster top side up. With scissors, cut through centre of shell from end of tail up to, but not through eyes in centre of head. Turn lobster over, and again with scissors, cut through the shell from end of tail to within a ½ inch of tip of head. Then, with your knife cut completely through the underside of the lobster lengthwise, following scissor cuts from a ½ inch below the tip of the head down through tail, thus splitting lobster neatly in two except at the head. Finally, grasp lobster in both hands where claw joints meet chest and break the shell apart at the head to open it. Nestled in the head on one side of the lobster or the other is a pouch 1 inch long and 3/4 inch in diameter, which is the stomach sac. Locate the sac with your fingers, twist it out and discard it. If you have cut sac in two while splitting the lobster, no harm is done. Remove the two halves. Pull out and discard the intestinal vein, a thin, flexible, translucent or blackish tube that runs from the area of the stomach sac down through the tail meat. The greenish and sometimes almost blackish soft matter lying in the chest cavity is the tomoli. Scoop it out into a small bowl. If your lobster is female, there will usually be some orange-red roe as well. Add this to the tomoli. With a knife or scissors, separate the two tail sections from the chest. Cut the legs and the claw joints from the chest, and cut claws from ends of joints. Crack claws in 1 or 2 places with a sharp whack of the knife. Drain juices into a bowl and reserve them, along with the tomoli. The lobster is now ready for sautéing.